Ladies and gents, how's it going? Figured I'd make a small little video talking about dunes and the species of plants that you can find behind me on these dunes. Now, I don't know the specific names of these plants. However, as you can see, we've got a bunch of no parking signs up, and this little sign here says native plants save beaches. By staying out of these dunes, you can help preserve this beach for future generations. Thank you. All right, but how does that work? How do these plants preserve the sand dunes, the beaches? Well, let me share with you for a second, all right? Let me share. All right, so the plants that you see behind me, all right, these are all native species to Florida. And they all help preserve sand dunes, but how? How do they do that? Well, number one is extensive root systems. They have very extensive root systems that go all throughout the sand. And they also help basically buffer, just got looked at like I was crazy by an old guy, but that's fine. I'm teaching you all about how these plants help. So, yeah, they have extensive root systems, which keeps all the sand together. And as time goes on, these plants will trap sand that is blown up from the wind, making the sand dunes bigger. And and then they will help buffer storm damage. So when a hurricane or a really big storm rolls in off of the Gulf, or wherever you are, if you're near water, what these plants do and what these sand dunes do is they prevent giant waves from coming all the way from the ocean, all the way to your hotels and whatever the heck else you want to build on the beaches for some odd reason. All right, and then something else I wanted to touch up on is how do they get their water? How do they get their nutrients? Well, I'm glad that you asked, my friends. These plants get their water from being specially adapted, almost succulent-like. Most have waxy coatings, or they're covered in like fuzz and stuff. And this helps with water retention, helps them collect water, and they'll close up their pores during the daytime, some of them will, and then open them back up at night. And that also helps with water retention, so they don't lose as much to the giant glowing ball of gas in the sky. And then how do they get their nutrients? Well, that is another great question. I believe it's called sea wreck or sea rack, something like that. And what it is basically dead seaweed and stuff. Basically marine plants and whatnot that wash up on the shore and they start decaying. That's one way that they get their nutrients, is from that stuff. Another reason, or another way they get their nutrients, is some of them will convert nitrogen from the air into a more usable source, and then that also enriches the sand a little bit, makes it better soil for these plants. Then another way that I know of that these plants can get their nutrients is by symbiosis. Some of them have symbiotic relationships with fungi and other things, maybe bacteria, I'm not sure, but fungi is the only one that I know of. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more of this content. And if I got anything wrong, as always, let me know in the comments, because I love to learn as much as you guys do. So, peace out, have a nice day, I'll see you in the next one.